So welcome, Erica, to the show. It's really an honor to have you. Thank you for being with me today.
It's such an honor to be here, Hannah. I'm so excited.
So let's start with your story. You are now a certified coach, meditation speaker, entrepreneur, but 20 years ago, it was a different story. You were sitting in a therapist's office close to burnout. And I was just wondering if you could take us back to the beginning of your story.
Yes. So I started my first company at 24, and by 26, 27, we were a Profit Hot 50 company, one of Canada's 50 emerging growth companies. I was the only female CEO on the list. I was top 30 under 30 entrepreneur, top 40 under 40 entrepreneur nominee. And to the world, things looked pretty awesome. Our business was growing. It was a very exciting time. And quietly, I was quite literally burning out. And I thank my mom, who's an amazing therapist. And she looked at me one day and she's like, Erica, honey, I think something's off. I think that you should get some help. I'm like, Mommy, work with me here. She's like, I'm your loving mom. I'm not your therapist. You need to get your own. So I met Sandra at the gym. So I've been a ballet dancer since I'm 3 years old. So movement was always a part of my life. And so I was at the gym and I met Sandra. Sandra was a therapist. I love Sandra's vibe. And I asked her if she'd see me. And she said yes. And in our time together in therapy, what I learned was that I love this company. Like, I love working. I love giving birth to something and, functioning in passion and purpose. And I loved it, but it had overtaken me. So what I learned in my time with Sandra was I didn't have to, dull my shine, throw water on my flame, stop doing what I loved and what I think I was, successful at doing. Instead, she taught me how to complement it with a calming lifestyle. And Sandra suggested I try yoga and meditation. And so Steve became one of my non-negotiables to myself as an entrepreneur. Steve came to my house twice a week and he taught me yoga and meditation. And that literally saved my life. It quite literally saved me. He taught me how I could bring my mind and body to a state of calm, both on and off the mat. And he taught me that self-care mattered and how, stopping and honoring your boundaries and breathing, how, that could change my life. And so through yoga, meditation, therapy with Sandra, I quite literally came back to myself. I found my joy again. I found my passion. At the time I was feeling, so to know that I was in a near encounter with burnout. And if you're, watching, listening, this may feel familiar to you, unfortunately, but racing mind, not sleeping, everything pissed me off. Like if I was in traffic, I was really aggravated. Just this restlessness, and apathy is a big one for some people. It doesn't always feel like you can't get out of bed. So loss of interest in work or things that once made you excited are signs, but apathy is like this big, red flag, which is you're neither excited when something happens, you're just kind of flat. Mm-hmm. And so that's not who I was. That's not who I am. And so I had some of these signs. And so I learned how to course correct. And through that, eventually 7 years later, had a great run with my business, had the chance to sell it. It was acquired by one of Canada's largest retail chain of bags. And then I stayed home. That's all I wanted to do was stay home and be an entrepreneur. I had one child. My second baby was on the way. And then 3 years after selling my company, my entrepreneurial itch was back. What was I going to do? My husband said, why don't you come do sales and work with me? I said, we'll end up divorced. That will not be a good idea. So and you'll tell me how much of my story I'm sharing. You can cut me off at any time because this contributes to how I'm doing my work. Anyway, so I had a mom and me kind of baby group luncheon, and I met Tracy. So, she asked me what I did. I said, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I had a previous business. I'm just kind of thinking about what to do. What do you do, Tracy? She says, I'm a blogger. I said, well, what's a blogger? She said, well, I write about my life in kind of like this online journal format. I'm like, well, what do you blog about? She said, well, my blog is called Grumble Girl. And it's kind of just about musings and things that I see. So I went home that day and I went on my computer and I Googled blogger blogging, and I saw that this girl, Heather Armstrong, had this blog called Dooce.com, Dooce. And I saw that Heather was making about $100,000 to $150,000 a month on ad revenue on her blog.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, this is no joke. And while I saw that these bloggers were incredible writers and I was not, I was a businesswoman. And so I was like, this could be my next business. I'd have the flexibility that I'm looking for. And so I was like, I started to get excited. I'm like, okay, what's the blog going to be? Like, it's not going to be a cooking blog because I am really not a good cook at all. So it was no Martha. I was like, okay, I'm not a cooking blog. Maybe a beauty blog. Well, I never wear makeup and I don't care about like any trends or fashion or anything like that. I've been dressing the same my whole life. I'm like, so beauty blogger, fashion blogger, no. I'm like, maybe travel blogger. I love to travel. But I was like, let's be real. With one baby and another one 3 years old, where am I really traveling? So I said, but I'm really stuck right now. I don't know what to do. And I have this entrepreneurial itch. Imagine if I documented my journey getting unstuck, but this was a hub and a blog for all women who were stuck in all different facets of their lives, dead end job, loveless marriage, being authentic in who you are. And so I was like, that's my blog idea. I'm going to call it womenonthefence.com. And we're going to get off the fence together. And I'm going to interview people and I'm going to meet people who are currently stuck and who have gotten off the fence. And we're going to all learn and be inspired from these people. And literally, like almost right away, it took off on Twitter. And like Ellen DeGeneres was following me, and people like Diane Sawyer were retweeting my blogs, and Brooke Burke, and people with millions of followers. And it grew. And so to tell you how I came to this story is when I had my first company to now, I had always mentored women in business. I'd always loved it. And so I'd always mentored, coached women. And it started to work more with women. And I said, you know what, I want to really get my certification so I could do this properly. And so I did. And then I was asked to audition for TV, and as you know, I've done that for 11 years on global news. And so continued to work with women as a life coach. And then I think about 6 or 7 years ago, wanted to marry working with women's minds with their bodies and really take self-care and coaching further so I could really work with the whole woman. And so I got certified in yoga and meditation. And so I quite literally everywhere I am, pair mind and body and help women prioritize self-care, prevent burnout, and reclaim their time and energy. And so that's how it came to be. It came to be from my story. And then, of course, just working with women, my certifications, and then just being obsessed with helping women. Yeah.
What a journey.
Sorry about that.
And super powerful on the reframe. I mean, you were learning how to balance your fire, and figure out like what that's going to be. I think you described so many women in the world who are stuck. They don't know. They have that itch that you're talking about, but they really don't know what to do. In fact, I think I've seen it more over the course of the last few years than ever before. So that tells me that women are looking for change. They want to do things differently. And then, encompassing the health aspect, I think that's pretty amazing. So you are one who helps them master mindset, energy, and time. And I'm just kind of wondering, what does that look like when someone comes to you and they're just in complete disarray and they're like, Erica, I need some help. What does that look like?
Sure. So I'll go through my process. Yes, that is my kind of four steps. So it's mindset, body, time, transformation. So that's the 4 steps. We can't start to change or course correct our life. It starts with our mindset. And we look at scarcity versus abundance mindset and our limiting beliefs. So can't do anything until we talk about how we show up in our mind. Next, it's body. That's self-care. That is my 5 pillars of self-care and well-being. That is looking at what stress does to our body. So acute versus chronic stress. And then next, so once we reclaim our mind and our body, then it's our time. We learn how to own our day, trim the fat off of our schedule. And then transformation is the fourth step, which is how do we make our changes last? But the first time you ask how I help, a woman is the first time I see a client, I will always, I ask them what's called the big three. And number one is I ask you to describe the big picture dream. So what is the big picture dream? What is the goal? If you could close your eyes and envision yourself living the life you want to be living right now. And I say, if that's being Beyonce, don't be shy to say it. Like, what is the life? If you can taste it, smell it, feel it, describe it for me. That's step one. Step two is what is standing in the way of blocking you from being Beyonce? What is standing in the way, preventing you from walking towards that big goal or dream? Not enough time, money, energy, resources. What are the blocks? Let's talk about that. And then the third step is, what is the first step? What is one unblocking process that you can begin, one small, tiny baby step that will start where you can start walking towards that end destination goal, right? That just start to begin the journey of getting what you want. And so that's what that kind of looks like. But that's my fourth step. And that's how I begin. That's how we start. And it opens like a flower from there.
I have to ask, what are some of the more common answers when you're asking a woman, who do you want to be? What do you want to be like?
Yeah.
Because I think everyone's answers can be different, but is there something that there's this common response?
Yeah. Most women say, I just want to be happy, which is a nice answer to hear. I don't like, some people say, I want to be financially viable. I want to make a lot of money because money brings freedom. And that is absolutely true. But most women say they're so tired by the time they see me that they're like, Erica, I just want to wake up happy. I want to be creative again. I want to, a lot of the words that we use are like, feel like I'm in flow, like I'm in passion and purpose. And so sometimes these are just small tweaks where we just need to make some life adjustments where we can fall back in love. It doesn't always mean leaving our job. Sometimes our job is wonderful, but we think it's terrible because we've ignored ourselves and the signs. And sometimes it's about making tweaks, boundaries, non-negotiables, self-care strategies so that you can fall back in love with what you already have. That sometimes we come back to the beginning, which is we realize we have everything. We were just blinded by our inability to not care for ourselves. And when we learn how to, our creativity comes back. Our joy comes back. We're excited. We're attracted to our partners again. Our kids don't aggravate us or annoy us because we're not so depleted, right? And sometimes it is a complete 180 shift. Sometimes a person or a woman does need to find another job. She's stuck. She hasn't had the courage. And sometimes we do need to work on our courage and resilience and self-esteem so that we can dare try something different and do something different. And when something's not working, Amy Porterfield has this saying, DSD. Sometimes we do need to do something different. So all different scenarios, right? All different. But what I hear lately is women are just so tired. Like, I just want to be happy. I just want to feel joy. So that's what I hear commonly.
I'm going to go back a couple steps. When you were talking about apathy, and when you're speaking of the woman who is just totally burnt out, doesn't know what to do, is that stuck woman. When you were describing that, I feel like it's almost like you're emotionally numb inside, like when you were saying, I don't know whether to be happy. That's not me. Like, you're describing some of the women that I see daily that just become so emotionally numb and disconnected. It's almost like the light was dimmed.
Yeah.
And
I just want to say that I am a life and career coach. I'm not a therapist or a psychiatrist. So I always say, if it becomes too dark, if you're not able to get up and get out of bed, that is out of my lane. That is out of my scope of expertise. And so I have questions whereby I'm able to refer someone, or I just will tell you to speak to your family doctor. They're a great place to start for a resource. So I want to say that I am not a mental health professional in that sense. I'm not a doctor or psychiatrist. I'm a life and career coach. So my goal is to help, if you're feeling the signs, and you're ready to create self-care plans and strategies and, time management and productivity and work towards your goals, even, I do social media. I help entrepreneurs with social media and sales. I mean, I do that as well. But if it's too dark for you, then I am not the right person to help you. I just want to make that clear.
I think that, you're right. You're not a licensed therapist, those things, but what you are is a living testament of what it looks like to get help. Yeah. You sought outside, you found the help. Now you're leading by example. And so you're proof that we can live in a higher frequency if we choose to. It's just us recognizing it, exactly what you said. What do we want? Who do we want to be? What does life look like? I think I talk to a lot of women and interview a lot of women who are in season 2 of life. They're menopausal, perimenopausal, emotions are flying high. And then there's the other side of it where women are like, I'm in my 50s. I'm loving this. I love who I've become. It's two sides of the fence. So I find interesting the different perspectives that you shared today. So what do you say to the woman right now listening to us who is overwhelmed and stuck and wants that change?
Yeah. So I believe that long-lasting change starts small. But it's just the research, we know it because small movements creates momentum, which creates motivation. So I would say 2 things that you can do. I like to give women tips of things they can do now to help course correct. I would give 2 tips. Number 1 is any kind of breathing or breath. If you're overwhelmed, breathing, breath work, meditation, mindfulness, this is not, hokey pokey woo stuff. This is real hard research and science. So I would start scheduling a breathing break in your calendar, 10:30 in the morning, 3:30 in the afternoon, set an alarm or a calendar alert. You can do one of 2 things. One is a simple box breath. You can actually do 3 things. A simple box breath, inhale through your nose to the count of 4, hold your breath at the top to the count of 4, exhale through pursed lips to the count of 4, hold at the bottom. So about 4 to 6 rounds of that at 10:30 in the morning. You can also try the Dr. Andrew Weil 4-7-8 breath. That is for sleep, insomnia, and anxiety. Inhale through your nose to the count of 4. Hold your breath at the top to 7. Exhale through your mouth to the count of 8. Again, 4 to 8 rounds of that. This will take you 90 seconds. I think you're worth it. And over a period of a few weeks, you will change your brain chemistry. You will absolutely feel a shift in your anxiety and in your level of how you react. And the third one, I said there were 3, and the third one is just a good old fashioned deep diaphragmatic breath. So just if you don't like the counting, just big belly breaths. Schedule it in the morning, in the afternoon, you will see a shift. And the second tip will be the importance of sleep. And that's so important. So I'd encourage you right now to start going to bed, programming yourself to try and go to bed 15 minutes earlier at night, and then setting your alarm in the morning, 15 minutes earlier in the morning, and penciling in some kind of a non-negotiable of something you love. It could be journaling, it could be reading, it could be stretching, it could be baking, it could be knitting, crocheting. Me, it's maybe practicing my drums in my ears, so that I don't wake anyone up over here. So that whole piece of going to bed earlier, getting up earlier, having time in the morning to start your day, feeling refreshed and energized with something you love, then the benefits of just going to bed earlier. We're way too addicted to our phones. We're way too Netflixing till 2 a.m. So really being intentional with your hard boundaries, shutting off at night. Those 2 things will move the needle for you.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Now, you also write. You have written, and I was hoping you could share what you've written. Give us a little insight.
Yeah, as far as my book, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll show it to you. It's right over here. So this is my List Your Goals journal. So it's called List Your Goals Journal, 100 Lists to Inspire and Motivate Your Growth. And this, it's how to manifest your dreams and goals through journaling. And what's great about it is it's written here, a full life of purpose. So make meaningful changes in all aspects. So there are journal prompts for 5 areas: personal growth, professional growth, healthy habits, relationships, and well-being. And so, it's been so well received. It's so exciting. It's helping men and women around the world journal quite journal to manifest their goals and dreams in those 5 areas, relationships, career, health, well-being. And I know firsthand the power of journaling. I've been a journaler since I'm a very little girl, and the research is there backing up getting our thoughts, troubles, stresses, ideas from our minds onto paper, and the power of that and the ease in our bodies, and it's a stress reducer, and journaling is incredibly powerful. So I'm proud of that journal.
I'm excited to read it. I actually ordered mine this morning. So
awesome.
You talk about the breathing and all of these different things, and then encompassing journaling. Like, you're really showing very simple ways to move the needle, as you said. So you're talking about it, you're writing about it, you're doing all the things. You also have a podcast. Tell me about the podcast.
Yeah. So the podcast is a few years old. And so, to be fully transparent, and I think you'll appreciate this, I was like not burning myself out, but I was like recording. And then I started to say, Erica, who are you recording for? Now, I know you're recording, of course, for the listeners, but I also am a full-time life coach, and I'm a full-time speaker, and I teach yoga every week, and I have a line of essential oils. And I was like, Erica, it's too much. So the truth of the matter is, my podcast, I created my own self-care routine around it, in that I interview someone when there's someone I really want to interview. And so that's my kind of behind the scenes about how frequently I record. It's when I get inspired and I want to speak to someone. But it is an incredible podcast of getting up close and personal with, trailblazers, change makers, people who have incredible stories. So I've interviewed, you can go see it. It's Erica Diamond Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. And these people are incredible, and you're going to learn so much. You're going to be inspired to change your own life. And I love every single guest. I mean, we've talking about sex, addiction, career, friendship. I had Terry Hatcher from Desperate Housewives to Sherry Salata, who is, Oprah's producer and exec EVP for 25 years, about her book and what she's done. And it's just from naturopaths to dietitians. It's a really interesting podcast. So I hope you check it out.
Most definitely. Now, you also have the Busy to Bliss membership.
Yeah.
Now, what is that about?
Yes. Yeah. So the Busy to Bliss membership. So it was a course, then a membership, and it's back to being a course, because that is just what I saw the women needed. So Busy to Bliss is a 8-week mindset and body balance transformation course. We've had over almost 150 women go through this course and program. And it is my 4-step method. I'm so proud of this course. It was a membership. And then I was starting to see that these women are so busy that it's hard for them to just show up and consume content over and over again, that a lot of them just want to go through the course and then stay with the community and stay in touch with the community. So we're back to our roots of what always worked originally. So it's not content each month. I realize that these women are too busy. They don't want new content shoved at them each month. They want to learn the foundation, and then they want to connect with each other. So you can go to busytobliss.com. I've made it evergreen, meaning if I meet someone and they need this course right now, if they want to go from feeling burnt out to feeling in alignment with their days and learning, the method of thriving, they can get the course. That it's all self-paced. You can stay on track to do it in 8 weeks, or you can do it in 4 weeks, or you can do it slower. The transformation is the same. And you can read all the testimonials. They speak for themselves. So busytobliss.com is where that course lives, and that mindset and body transformation live. And the transformations have been incredible. It's been really so much fun to watch. Yeah.
I can only imagine seeing women come in one way and leaving just a whole different, brighter light. So I have to ask, chief inspiration for entrepreneur Barbie.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Yeah. So, I've been inspiring women and entrepreneurs for a long time. And Mattel was launching Entrepreneur Barbie in Canada, and they saw me as someone inspiring as an entrepreneur myself. I'd written my first book as 99 Things Women Wish They Knew Before Starting Their Own Business. So they had identified me as an inspirational Canadian entrepreneurial woman who also inspires other to take the dive into their dreams too. So
Wow.
they made Erica Diamond Barbie to my likeness. They took like a 360 degree of my face, and this Barbie has the bump on my nose and my hairstyle and everything. And so they made that Barbie to my likeness to honor my role as Chief Inspiration Officer of Entrepreneur Barbie in Canada. We had the Barbie Business Bursary, which is where young girls sent in their business ideas, and we were on a committee, and we awarded three young female entrepreneurs bursary money to start their own little business. I mean, it was so amazing. You're asking me about all the good things. These are all easy things to report, Hannah. So it was so cool. It was to inspire our young girls to become entrepreneurs and leaders in their community.
Wow.
Which was amazing.
What an amazing project to be a part of.
Yes.
How young were these girls that you were able to do this with?
Oh, some of them. I think we had, I can't remember the limits, but we had like 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old, 17-year-old girls with really incredible, like everything that you would imagine from like, they had a little beading jewelry company. Some of them just came. They're like, we have a lemonade stand and we want to open up lemonade stands in every corner. Like,
wow, that's amazing.
We want to give our money to like the pet shelter. And so many. One wanted to start a restaurant. She's going to start a smoothie restaurant. And it was so incredible.
Wow. What an amazing opportunity. I think that we should be so much more focused on our younger generation of little girls. I think leading by example is huge. So thank you for doing that. You have been recognized by some of the most incredible women across the world. I mean, your accolades and all the different things that you have done are just endless. And so here's my question to you is, what do you want to be and who do you want to be now? You have already done so much. So what is next for you?
Okay, so I am not about destination living. I mean, we all need a destination, of course. We all need a plan. But I'm so, I read a quote and someone said, like, when someone says and asks you what's next, you can say, I'm just really enjoying the now. And I was like, I love that because I truly am. I mean, next week, I'm going to speak at Mom 2.0 Summit in Orlando. I just connected with 2 more speaking engagements to help them. One is a company and the other one is Wellness Week for another company, and speaking about, helping women, avoid burnout. So it's more of the same. It's nothing new. It's just helping more women. What I am excited about is I did create something and I've only put it out to my audience. No one in the world knows it. Just my list knows about it. And I've created something called the Boardroom, which is where a little bit more business focused, because I have kind of like a wide female audience, but I really want to help specifically professional women, working moms, entrepreneurs. And I was like, imagine you had like your own board of directors where you showed up and it's like where office hours with me meets with like your own board of directors. So they can come with their, of course, life and career coaching questions if they're feeling stuck, they're not happy in their jobs, or they just want social media strategies and business strategies. So that's exciting for me. So that's coming. I haven't decided if it's going to be April or May. I don't know. I asked my list, you like 12 p.m., 5 p.m., or 7 p.m. So I'm going to try and lock down a time. But what's next? I have no idea. And that is totally fine. I have my schedule that's built out, but I feel fully in alignment, fully in my zone of genius. And I'm not at all looking to what's next. I'm enjoying now. Lots of fun. It's spring in Montreal. We have the worst winters. They're so cold. So, I have bright sunshine on my face. I'm feeling the warmth and all that just feels great.
Well, I want to say thank you so much for spending time with me today. And I'm just so in awe of all the different things that you do and just really finding the harmony to do it. And at some point of this conversation, you even described me.
Really?
Some of those feelings, the disconnect, when you're running all these different companies and you're doing all these different things, I think that we do forget ourselves. I did. And I had to come clean to myself and also my team and everyone else. And so I really felt connected when you shared some of that. And I just want to thank you for being so transparent, because I think a lot of times we're afraid to share things like that out in the open because we're supposed to have it all. We're supposed to be it all. We're supposed to do it all. But really, are we?
That's why I love my community, because I think I show up always, and I always have. If you can follow me for a long time, I show up in authenticity, in integrity, in honesty and truth. And I think that is so important. That is the ripple effect to other women. When we can show up saying, I feel desperate. I need help. This doesn't feel good. I don't feel good right now. And you admit to yourself, or you admit to someone else that you're struggling. This gives permission for other women to be authentic. And then what happens? That creates a forum for discussion. Mm-hmm. And that creates a community of openness. That creates, then you're a sounding board for someone who's not feeling well. So instead of struggling in shame and silence, they can come out and they can get help. And they can course correct. Help is out there. Even if you're just feeling a little bit uncreative, even if it's something simple that you need tweaks, or even if it means sitting in a doctor's office and it's something more serious. Mm. But when we decrease the stigma of and we see these images of, women can have it all and do it all. I don't believe that we are in seasons. And so I'm back to that season of creativity, because I have one son who's out of the house and I have another one leaving. I'm going to be an empty nester. So it's really my time this fall. This fall is when I'm really going to work. I'm going to love it. But I chose my kids, so I missed out on a lot of opportunities. And so I don't believe in this. And I think those images hurt us. So I think it's important to be honest. And thank you, Hanna, for being honest with me, and maybe having seen yourself in that. And just by you saying that, someone watching and listening right now will be like, I want to be honest about myself too. And if I am going to be honest, maybe I need a little course correct right now. And so that is how everything that begins the ripple and blocking effect. And it's real and it's spectacular.
Yes, it is. Well, you are definitely a beautiful example of what it means to be multi-passionate, fully aligned, and just such an incredible force. And I just want to thank you again for being here. So how can people connect with you, get involved in the programs, follow your journey? What's the best way?
So everything is at ericadiamond.com. That's my website. I love Instagram. So if you follow me at Erica Diamond on Instagram, that's my most excited platform. You can check out busytobliss.com. That is my coaching course. That is my 8-week course. If you're interested in life and career coaching, working one-on-one, that is also at ericadiamond.com, and you click the coaching tab. And if you are a women's association or company and you're looking for a burnout prevention speaker, or you want to create an event around women's wellness and self-care, I am a full-time keynote speaker, and that information is on Erica Diamond as well. So we can work together one-on-one. You can take a course. I have a small little 7-day course called the Burnout Rescue Blueprint. You can check that out too. You can come say hi on Instagram. I have tons of free resources at ericadiamond.com. You can take a little 10-minute energizing vitality yoga flow. You can take it, you can do a 10-minute meditation. I have sleep quizzes and stress quizzes and lots of freebies for you if you don't want anything paid. And then there are the courses, which are super affordable, the coaching and the speaking and the podcast.
And the book.
And the book and the essential oils. Yeah, I know. It's just go to ericadiamond.com and choose your own adventure.
Well, thank you again, Erica. It was really, honestly, a pleasure to have you on today and have such a great conversation. I will be continuing to support, follow, engage in all that you do. And thank you for being the leader that you are.
Same. I will continue to follow all the goodness that you are all doing and your team is doing. And I will follow and spread and share your light. So thank you for everything you are doing in the world.
Well, you have listened to probably one of my favorite episodes on FENIX TV with the amazing Erica Diamond. And this is going to conclude the end of this episode. We hope you visit us at fenixtv.app so that you can watch this extraordinary episode and you will leave full of life and love. Thank you, everyone. Bye.